What's up, guys? It's Black Soul, and I wanted to make a quick video for you guys talking about the Warlock class. We've been playing a lot of Destiny 2, and we know that you guys have been as well. And I wanted to make a quick video just kind of talking about the Warlock class, breaking down some of the elements of this character, this particular character, and the subclasses. And I wanted to talk about why this is one of my favorite characters to play in Destiny. So let's talk about the subclasses real quick. So the Warlock class has 3 different subclasses that you actually get pretty early on in the game. I was actually surprised as to how fast you get some of these subclasses. But the first one is Dawnbreaker, and then you got the Voidwalker class, and then the final one that you get is Stormcaller. Now, I've heard some different things. I'm not sure how true this is. I've heard that some people really interested to know is when they start the game. And this. Me personally, I started out with Dawnbreaker, certain people, and then I got the Voidwalker, and then I got the Stormcaller. Really cool. So definitely let me know in the comment section if you did start out with a different subclass. So yeah, let's talk about the different subclasses. Let's talk about Voidwalker first, since that's probably the one that we're more familiar with. So actually, you know what, let's pedal backwards a little bit. Let's talk about the different skills you get for the Warlock. So you either can get the Healing Rift or the Empowering Rift. Each class of character, as far as the Titan, the Hunter, and the Warlock, they each have their own set of skills, and I believe each character has 2. For the Warlock, it's going to be Healing Rift and the Empowering Rift. Now, the Healing Rift is pretty much self-explanatory. You hold down circle on the PS4 if you're playing on the PS4, and you will basically drop a circle where if you or your ally stand in that circle, it will heal you. And if you're already at full health, you'll get an overshield. That's something I use pretty often, actually, whenever we're doing like public events or strike missions, or playing PvP. You know, if you can get away and the guy doesn't get that last shot on you, you can pop that, heal up a little bit, and it gives you kind of like a second win to get back into the fight. The other one, the Empowering Rift. This one I think will come in handy when the raids are released. What it does is, if you are standing in that circle, or if the other individuals on your squad are standing in that circle, it makes the attack power stronger for your weapons. So it boosts the attack power for all your weapons. So I think that when we start getting into the raids and things like that, that will really come in handy. I'm really interested to see how big of a part that plays in things like the raids and the Nightfall strikes as we start getting into more of the guts of Destiny. Okay, so back to the Voidwalker class. Let's talk about that. So one of the things that you guys will notice right from the beginning, if you have this class, is that it's very similar to the Voidwalker class on Destiny 1. There's a couple different things that were changed. I'll try to talk about those a little bit, but I'm not going to dive too much into it, just because this class, like I said, should be fairly familiar to you guys. So obviously the super ability is the Nova Bomb itself, which is a giant bolt of void light that you shoot towards enemies. It's a pretty big blast radius when you shoot it, and really, honestly, on Destiny 1, there really wasn't anything spectacular about it. I mean, if your enemies were caught by it, or if you were playing PvP and they were dumb enough to stand in the middle and get shot by this, then obviously, yeah, it was pretty powerful. But a lot of times I missed, I had people move out of the way, things like that. So I like what they did with Destiny 2, though, and we'll talk about that. But this class is pretty much the same, like I said before. You still have Blink, you still have Strife, you still have Burst, which we know Blink was a little teleportation, blah blah blah. The teleportation thing that you had, where you basically could teleport short distances when you had that enabled. And then Strife allows you to glide through midair after jumping, and it gives you pretty decent control. And then you have Burst Glide, which is like a burst of speed. Jesus Christ, I can't get any words out today. But like a burst of speed that you would get after jumping in the air. And then the grenades. The grenades are pretty much the same. You have Scatter, and then you have Vortex, and then you have the Axion Bolt. So again, I'm not going to touch too much on these. I'll probably try and highlight the things that are different this time around. But for the most part, these skills and perks and things like that for the Voidwalker class are pretty much the same. For the Atonement perks, you have Chaos Accelerant, Bloom, Cataclysm, and Tropic Pool. Those are pretty much the same, I believe. At least I don't remember them. And then you have the Atonement of Hunger perks. Devour's back. Feet of the Void is back. Insatiable, which I believe that one was in Destiny 1 as well. And then Vortex, which I know for a fact that one was in Destiny 1. So that's the Voidwalker class. Like I said, that one's pretty much the same. The one difference that I can say I do not remember being in the first game was when you shoot the Nova Bomb, you have the ability to set it to where it separates into smaller Nova Bombs and seeks out the enemies and causes damage that way. So let's talk about the next class. Let's talk about Dawnblade. Dawnblade is probably one of my favorites. You again have your Strife, your Burst, and you have this time Balance, which is a combination of, I would say, Strife and Burst. And then you have the Solo Grenade, which is similar to the grenade on the, I think it was called the Sunwalker or the Sunseeker class. I can't remember. Let me know what that class was if you remember it in the comment section. But the Solo Grenade's back, Firebolt's back, the Fusion is also back. And then you have your different atonements. So you have the Atonement of the Sky, and then you have Atonement of the Flame. I personally use, for this class, I use the Atonement of the Sky. Really because I like the ability to use the Winged Sun, and that allows you to fire weapons and throw grenades while you're gliding. And it actually will hold you in the air for a little bit until your glide wears off, and then you'll drop, obviously. But that one's actually my favorite. And then also you can set it to where if you get any kills while you're airborne, it recharges your grenades. And you get the Icarus Dash if you double press circle or B while you're airborne, and allows you to dodge. And then you can strike an enemy to burn the target and to really increase your movement and reload speed. So that is probably the one that I use the most when I'm using the Dawnbreaker class, just because like I said, I like the fact that you can shoot and kind of glide at the same time, especially when you're getting overrun with enemies. You can kind of glide up and rain down some bullets on them. And then let's move on to the last one, the Stormcaller. Stormcaller has to be my absolute favorite. So with this one, the movement modes are Controller Glide, Focus Burst, and then Balance. Pretty similar to the Dawnbreaker. Not much difference there. And then you have your Solar, your Firebolt, your Fusion Grenade, which those are pretty much the same as well. And then when we get to the Atonement perks, you have the Atonement of Ions perk, and then the Elements perk. I think the one that I'm using right now is the Ions perk. It allows you to deliver an Arc Lightning melee, Storm Trance, which is the special, lasts a lot longer, and then you get Arc Web, which enemies damaged by your grenades basically chain lightning damage to nearby enemies. I love that one. You throw a grenade out, basically it'll hit one enemy. If they take damage, it'll shoot to the next enemy and so forth. It'll actually chain to a decent amount of enemies if they are in the close area proximity to each other. Ionic Blink. This one is pretty much like the Voidwalker class's Blink. It allows you to teleport while you're within the Storm Trance special. So if you pop your super, you basically will click in the left thumbstick, and I think that's universal between the two consoles, and it'll allow you to teleport. That one's really, really nice, especially like I said, when you're playing PvP, you can kind of teleport and throw someone off guard, or kind of unbalance them a little bit and get some more kills with the Storm Trance. So that one's one of my favorite. I definitely use that one. And then as far as the Atonement ones, you have Gale Force, which is a melee ability, and it restores your grenade once you melee an enemy. Landfall, which is you cast Storm Trance and a wave of arc lightning shoots to the ground beneath you. I haven't tried that one out yet. I will try that though. I'll probably get it on video and PvP and Crucibles or something, and upload a nice video for you guys for that. And then you have Rising Storm, which whenever you have that enabled, it recharges your Rift ability as long as your allies are near you. And then the final one, the coolest one about this atonement, is Arc Soul. So your Rift ability now grants you an Arc Soul ally in battle. and basically it's a little blue lightning ball that will actually shoot enemies while it's active. So that one's actually pretty cool. It'll follow you around, and then it will act as another buddy on the battlefield. So I like that one a lot. That's pretty much all the subclasses for the Warlock in Destiny 2. I don't know, guys. I think my favorite would have to be the Stormcaller subclass. Comment below and let me know which one you're using if you are running a Warlock. I'd be curious to know what the consensus is among all the players, which one is their favorite. But for me, it has to be Stormcaller, man. And I really enjoy that one. I'm really curious to see if they come out with more subclasses and how good those will be. But that's pretty much the Warlock. Yeah, so if you're thinking about playing the Warlock, one thing I do want to mention before I head out today, guys, is just, you know, be mindful of the fact that the Warlocks do not have as much health as some of the other classes. There will be situations where, yeah, you have a super, a Titan has a super, and when you guys go head to head, he's going to win that battle. So keep things like that in mind. I had a couple situations. I believe I even have a video I can throw in here for you guys where you can see that. And I mean, just that's something to note. Warlocks can be very powerful, they can be very fast, they can be nimble. However, in most cases, when you go toe to toe with like a Warlock or a Titan or a Hunter, they are not going to win. But yeah, you know, if you're smart and if you use them to their advantages, they can be very powerful pieces on the battlefield. So that's all I have for today, guys. I will see you guys in Crucible, and may the best man win. Peace.